I'm going to show it to you in 1 second, but what this does is to help me read and write because I have dyslexia, and this is a much needed tool for me. It's very similar to Siri kind of thing, but I'll show it to you in 1 second. And it's very straightforward. It's actually part of it's on it's called a web application from Codex. But anyway, very basic as you can see. The words are here, so I can put in a word like car, hit
Car.
space,
Car.
and it reads to me.
Car.
I don't know what happened in the first place, but it reads to me. Good, so it works as far as typing goes. I can copy and paste stuff into it and hit
The
read.
old archive had the strongest dating material, but it was split.
And it reads back to me. It's widowed delayed, but that's fine. And on here, it has words predicted. And I'm not a fan of that, but it's my program. I can get Codex to change it out. But as you can see, I have dictate, which doesn't work at this point. But I can pause and resume.
Across raw ChatGPT exports.
Like I can stop it, so it goes back to the beginning. I can clear it, which is very helpful. The voices are from Microsoft. The engine, I try to get open source, but it just didn't want to work. And the speed, I don't think it works either. And local learning, type to read, local learning, I don't think it works. But type to read works fine. So yeah, and with my $20 pack with my package, I'm saving myself $150 a year from 102 turns with AI. So that's part one. In this section, I'm going to be showing you what I use Codex for with my ADHD. Then after that, I'm going to be showing you what I do for my ASD, which is autistic, but doing ADHD first. So I don't know if you know, but there's a program called Sibian, and it's a second brain in the computer. So what I do is when I'm out and about, I use my phone to take a note inside of the Sibian. So when I get home, or if I can just put it away and forget it, and then it'll just be in context. So if I comes up with another idea in the computer or the AI says, hey, as we rated this one, it can make a connection. And what that looks like with connections, I'll show you in 1 second. Oh, connections. So, and there, I'll zoom out in 1 second, but as you can see, like the main idea is video transcripts. And there are other videos that like hands off in my new favorite skills. That's related to AI. ADHD propagation, and so on. So I can click into there, if there's a file away, and it brings up the note. I can read the note just fine, and I can go back to the big map I have, and these are all the notes that I got the AI to assist me with. And I'll show you all the notes that I have. There's way more notes, so I turn that off because most of that is irrelevant. But anyway, going back here, so I can pick and choose like index, so on and so forth. So that's the general idea for the software. But what I do is when I make a note and I just follow it away, it goes into context. If I make some kind of connection and I don't realize it, the AI should say, hey, you made a connection between these two ideas, and that means this may mean that. Or I can go home, I can take it with my current idea and say, go find more resources related to this, or what is in my context that is similar to this, or what are the new connections that are made here. So it can go and figure that out. I use Codex for that, for all that, but for all those little, the bigger amount of dots, what I did is got my chat history from ChatGPT. You can do it from other sources, but my sources was from ChatGPT. I'm meaning to get other sources, but that's it's ChatGPT. And all the connections, I asked Codex to make connections. In this video, it doesn't fit this video. I can do another one for that later, but for time being, it's just Codex that made those connections for me. And for part 3 is how I deal with my autistic. So I do use AI for it. Time to time, I don't want to talk to anybody in my network, because it's between I just don't feel comfortable with it, or it's really sensitive, or many different reasons. So I do have a human therapist. I do use her about once a month. So I do have human support, and I highly, highly recommend everyone access it if you are able to, through your personal finances or through insurance. And I'm quite sure, depending on where you live, it's government assistance. So, like here in Canada, here in Ontario, if you're under 18, you can call hotline and they help you, because obviously you don't have a job. So how can you pay for a therapist? So on and so forth. Just ask ChatGPT or look it up on the internet. I'm quite sure you can find someone who meets needs, or you can find someone who can find someone for you. But anyway, so I do use ChatGPT, but when I do use it, I should say, I leave out personal names, like family member names, bosses' names, so on and so forth. So by chats, mine is turned off for sharing my chats with OpenAI. But if there's a chat that gets shared or gets leaked or something else, their names are not associated with my account. And I only share scenes that I prefer not to have out in public, but if they do end up in public, I'm kind of okay with it. So use that as your basic filter. Like if it's something illegal or criminal or something you don't want anyone else to tell, know what I mean? Do not tell AI, because it's supposed to be private, but I wouldn't hold them to that. So be warned now for that. But just recently, actually today, I used ChatGPT and I didn't use it in the traditional way for myself. I asked, based on your context, what is a user, which is me, the experience, and from your history. I'm paraphrasing this, but it gave me back very unique point of view. And the reason for 2 reasons that I'm doing this. Okay, 3 reasons. More discovery for myself, so I know myself better. I'm trying to avoid yes, everything's okay, sir, and the bot problem. So I'm trying to eliminate that with saying the user, not me, the user. And I was trying to make just trying to answer something I had in my head, and it helped. And you may find if you're being watch more videos and go and watch more videos, you might see a change. But we'll say about that. But anyway, as we go, so there is that, and yeah, it's very helpful with sometimes very personal stuff that I deal with, and I prefer to keep it out to the family. And this isn't too bad. I just understand it, and people may not understand the way I want them to understand it. So if you're watching this, that's why. If you're a family member, that's why. Just one of those things that's just, I don't know how to explain it in the way that you may understand. But yeah, so as I said, I do use him as a therapist. I do talk to people. So it's not me just talking to AI all the time and looking for this for mental health support. And I do not cheap out on this. Okay, I do pay for proper people who have proper knowledge and so on and so forth. So that's one area I do not cheap out on. And what I mean by cheap out on, like if there's a better solution, if there's a cheaper solution, like I showed you earlier, yes, it meets my needs and so on and so forth. But when it comes to mental health, you can find a more suitable person, but I think it's especially important for people who are neurodiverse to at least have a person that they talk to who is outside of their day-to-day context, so they have a different point of view and so on and so forth. But anyway, I'll stop this here for 1 second. In closing, I would like to show you that when you do talk to AI, treat it like with a very big grain of salt when it comes to matters of importance, like money, your job, your health, so on. So use appropriate people that you like, trust, and know for those more important topics. But if it's more like, where do I go to get pizza? You might have a little bit more of these on that with AI, like where you get pizza. It doesn't really matter. But should I invest in a pizza place? That's where it matters. So use that with a grain of salt. And if you're in Canada, and if you're neurodiverse or not, and if you're behind with AI, I do offer a free 1 hour question call with you. This is only limited time and only in Canada. So you meet those 2 criterias, send me a message and we can talk about the details. But also 1 hour note before I do sign up with that is the criteria for that free service is the call is going to be recorded and put on YouTube. So if you want to, you do want to work with me, you're not comfortable with that, there is a fee applied to the call. But contact me for that kind of information. The information of that is in the description. So don't feel shy. Send an email. I'll get back to you. Anyway, have a good one. Talk to you later.